I'm Paniko, 30 years old. I married Isato, who worked at the same company as me, and when I became pregnant and entered my last month, I quit my job and became a full-time housewife. Back when I was still with the company, Isato and I were always being relied on by everyone at work, and we were rapidly improving the company's performance. I even had colleagues say things like this to me back then. Hey Paniko, how are you doing? Oh, Emiko, I'm doing good, what's up? This is my coworker Emiko. Actually, the manager told me to learn how to make sales pitches for either you or Isato. It seems like Isato is busy today, so if you have time, could you help me practice? Of course! I'd be happy to help, and I'm glad you're relying on me. Thanks! Everyone who gets trained by you seems to improve their sales performances very quickly. And that must mean that you're an incredible teacher, Paniko. I really need to start trying harder as well. I wish I was more like you, Paniko. No, you're giving me too much credit. I'm not that amazing. It's just that everyone who improved their sales performance put in a ton of effort. No, you're being too modest. They were able to improve because of the training you gave them, Paniko. And honestly, having someone as talented as you and Isato in the company is really reassuring. The sales department is invincible with you two. I was getting this kind of support from everyone around me, and I truly loved my job. So, to be honest, I actually wanted to keep on working there. I really didn't want to quit. When I became pregnant, I immediately went on maternity leave, and my plan was to return once things settled down with my baby. But when I talked to Isato about my plans, he told me that he wanted me to continue being a housewife and focus on the household responsibilities. To be fair, his salary alone was more than enough to make ends meet, so I ultimately decided to quit. Shortly after I left my job, I safely gave birth to my daughter. With a reliable husband and a precious baby, I felt like I was at the peak of happiness, but then everything came crashing down when this happened. One afternoon, just after I finished changing my daughter's diapers, my phone rang. I looked at the screen and saw that I was getting a call from Emiko. Hello? Oh, Paniko, it's been a while, how are you? I just had a quick question, so I thought I'd give you a call. Emiko asked me some questions about a client I used to handle, so I answered them one by one. But during the conversation, I noticed a lot of noise in the background. I could hear my former coworkers frantically making phone calls. Hey, Emiko, did something happen at work? I casually asked, and Emiko responded. Actually, Isato made a huge irreversible mistake at work, and now the whole company is in shambles. Wait, no way! Isato made a mistake? I couldn't believe it! Isato, who was known for being an incredibly talented worker, had made a mistake big enough to throw everyone into a frenzy? That sounded impossible. I decided to ask him about it when he got home from work, but when he came home, this happened.
I'm home.
Wait, what? Is he drunk? He probably went to a bar or something to drink his sorrows away. After coming home completely drunk, he was stumbling around, barely able to walk, and then collapsed right at the entrance. Hey, are you drunk? Are you okay? Let me get you some water. I brought him a cup of water from the kitchen, and he said, Thanks. He took the cup from me, then spilled the water all over his bag. Hey, you spilled it! Get it together!
Shut up! Why is everyone always picking on me? Do you know how much I've contributed to the company? Everyone looks at me like I'm nothing. I'm not like you all. I'm actually good at my job. I'm a valuable asset to the company. And now, just because I made one tiny mistake after getting excited about our daughter's birth, they're blowing it out of proportion. I just had my baby, all right? Why the hell are you blaming me for this? Besides, without me, this company wouldn't be as successful as it is today. So you don't have the right to complain about me.
Wow, he's completely drunk. I decided to carry him to his bed and let him sleep it off. I thought I'd listen to his complaints the next day and cheer him up with a nice meal. But the next evening, when he came home from work, he said this.
I'm home. Huh? What's with all this food?
He said as he pointed to the spread of dishes I had prepared. Welcome back! I made it to show my appreciation for all your hard work. I might have gone a little overboard, though. I didn't want to say I'd made it to cheer him up because I thought that would remind him of the mistake he made at work. So I did my best to avoid bringing that up, but that's when he said this to me.
You think I'm stupid, don't you?
What?
Everyone, including Emiko, says you've been calling me to help fix the mess I made at work. Do you think it's funny that I screwed up? You're so happy about it that you made this big meal, right? What's so fun about rubbing it in my face like this?
Isato started taking out his frustrations on me. And to make matters worse, his loud voice woke our daughter, who started crying. While I was calming her down, Isato stormed off to the bedroom shouting, "I'm going to bed!" From that day, the tension grew between us. Emiko had told me over the phone that, lately, Isato had been sulking at work and constantly getting scolded by his manager. Then, one day, I went to the bedroom with our daughter in my arms to wake Isato up. And this is what he said. "Isato, wake up! You're gonna be late for work!"
But it's only 8 o'clock.
What are you talking about? I'm waking you up because it's 8. You're going to be late.
It's fine. I'm on leave starting today.
Huh? Leave? But it's a weekday. What are you talking about?
I actually took parental leave. I don't have to go to work from today.
What? You've got to be kidding me!
It's true. I took parental leave for you and our daughter. I'm the best husband ever, right? I bet you're super happy right now.
Wait, hold on a second though. Parental leave? Are you sure that's why you're on break? Don't you mean paid leave?
John, why do you find this so hard to believe? I said it's parental leave. Just leave me alone, right? And now those guys at work will regret treating me the way they did. They don't realize how much the company's performance will tank without me there. I hope they suffer while I'm off. Now, I'm going back to sleep. Good night.
I faced the bed again and said to Isato, "Hey, don't just take parental leave without telling me. You need to discuss important things like this with me beforehand." I was angry, speaking to him as he stayed wrapped in the blanket, but that's when he replied with this.
Nah, I took leave because I thought it'd be tough for you to raise our child on your own. Why are you mad at me for that?
As he spoke, he peeked out from under the blanket. "You're just using me as an excuse because you don't want to go to work, aren't you? You took time off because you don't want to hear everyone at the office talk about the mistake you made, right? That's the only reason I can think of. But since you've already applied for leave, I guess there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not happy about this, but it is what it is. At least we have some savings to fall back on." "Fine, but at least help me out properly, okay? Got it?"
Yeah, I got it. Jeez, you're so annoying.
Since making that big mistake at work, Isato's sharpness has dulled, but I still believed he'd help out around the house at least a little. After all, he's the man I chose to marry. Not long ago, everyone at work recognized him as an excellent employee. So, deep down, I know he's capable. But since then, Isato started waking up late in the afternoon, lounging on the couch and playing mobile games all day while munching on chips. He stopped helping with the baby and didn't do any housework at all. Not only did he scatter crumbs in places I had just cleaned, making more work for me, but he also kept demanding different foods, increasing my shopping burden. I tried to talk to him about it, but whenever I scolded him, he'd snap back at me. Why had he changed so much? He used to be someone I admired. My frustration grew more and more each day. Finally, I decided to tell my mother-in-law, who lives far away, about the situation. During a video call, I showed her what Isato was doing, lying around and snacking in the middle of the day. She was furious and gave him a harsh scolding. But after I hung up with my mother-in-law, he immediately started getting mad at me.
What are you doing? Why did you call my mom? You got me in so much trouble.
Wait, you're blaming me for this? You're kidding, right? You got in trouble because of your own actions. Having you at home just doubles my housework. I'm at my limit already, alright? You need to stop slacking off and go back to work already. As we were arguing, our daughter, who was sleeping in another room, started crying. "Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay, sweetheart. I know that was scary. I'm so sorry." As I held and comforted her, he shot back at me.
Who do you think I'm taking leave for? You should be grateful. This is all your fault, you know.
Huh? Grateful? There's nothing I owe you gratitude for, you idiot. You're just blaming me for your laziness. I can't do this anymore. I've completely lost faith in you. Alright, I've made my decision. And at that moment, I came to a few conclusions. Thanks to this decision, I was able to get my revenge on Isato, and he would soon find himself on a downward spiral. The next morning, Isato, as usual, woke up in the early afternoon and came downstairs.
Good morning! Paniko, get me some coffee and lunch.
He said this while fiddling with his smartphone as he sat down at the dining table. However, when he glanced at his phone, his expression changed to one of shock.
Wait, what? I have a message from the manager.
While washing dishes in the kitchen, I turned my back to Isato and couldn't help but smirk. I knew exactly what the manager was going to tell him, but I couldn't hold back my grin. Then, the next moment, Isato explained.
No way! Am I getting laid off?
He jumped out of his chair and screamed in disbelief. The manager had given Isato a warning about his termination.
Wait a second! I've contributed so much to the company up until now, right? I don't understand why I'm being laid off. And you can't fire me just because I'm taking parental leave? That's just unfair! What? It's not because of my parental leave? The company suffered huge losses because of my mistake? I should be grateful that they're not suing me for damages because the company's performance has plummeted because of me? Wait, you've already consulted a lawyer? They said it's not wrongful termination? But this is ridiculous! Hold on! Hello? Sir? Sir?
It seems his call got cut off at that point. When I turned to face him, Isato was trembling with his smartphone still in his hand, his face pale. He had always believed he was an exceptional employee, that he was a necessary asset to the company, so the layoff warning must have been a massive shock for him. He probably never imagined he'd be laid off like this, but due to the significant mistake Isato made, the company had been in chaos while he was off on his so-called parental leave, and they decided to lay him off after confirming with lawyers to avoid wrongful termination. Ignoring Isato's pale face, I took off my apron, went to my room, put on my blazer, and returned to the living room. Alright, I'm heading out now. I'll be back by dinner.
Wait, why are you wearing a suit?
I'm going back to the company.
Wait, you're doing what? You're kidding, right?
It's true. The company is in big trouble and the manager contacted me to come back. So I have to rush to the office now. By the way, I've already dropped off our daughter at my parents' house. Isato's pride must have taken a serious hit when he realized his wife was returning to work while he was receiving a layoff warning. His pale face turned bright red with anger.
Wait a minute, this is just too much. I'm a valuable asset to the company, an exceptional employee. This is definitely wrongful termination. I'll report this to the Labor Bureau.
I think it would be pointless. It seems the company discussed your dismissal in detail with their lawyer, so I don't think you can overturn this decision.
Damn it, why is this happening to me?
Just then the doorbell rang. Smirking, I headed to the front door. Isato followed me, still complaining, but when I opened the door, he froze in place.
No way. Mom, why are you here?
This morning, I contacted my mother-in-law, and she took the first train over from far away. She must have rushed here to get so quickly. Upon seeing Isato, her face twisted into a terrifying expression as she glared at him.
Hey, Mom, you're not mad at me, right?
The moment Isato said that, my mother-in-law kicked off her shoes with incredible speed, grabbed Isato by the collar, and dragged him toward the living room. Then, with a loud bang, I could hear Isato's cries.
Mom, please forgive me. I'm sorry, I really am. Please forgive me.
The sounds of his sobs filled the air. What on earth was Isato's mother doing to him? I headed towards the living room and said, "Well, I'll leave the divorce papers here, so make sure he signs them, all right?" I pulled out the divorce papers from my bag and placed them on the floor of the entrance. Hearing that, Isato shouted,
Divorce papers? No way. Paniko, wait. Ah! Mom, let go of me. I need to talk to Paniko. Please forgive me.
Ignoring Isato's cries, I stepped outside and began walking to the office for the first time in months. Shortly after my divorce with Isato was finalized. With my mother-in-law's support, I received a small amount in alimony, but I secured a significant amount of money for child support. After that, Isato contacted the labor office, trying to claim his dismissal was unfair. But he was told it wasn't wrongful termination and he ended up getting fired from the company. His mother then had him enter a temple to undergo strict training to straighten him out. Now he spends his day being scolded by monks, fully immersed in his training. After his training, Isato headed to a factory near the temple to earn child support for our daughter. There, he's at the bottom of the hierarchy, working laborious tasks while being yelled at by big, intimidating guys, and he's been struggling quite a bit. Apparently, he doesn't get much sleep either. Since he's always been an indoor person with little physical strength and no athletic ability, he seems to be suffering a lot. I hope he ends up completely worn out and takes a good look at all the mistakes he's made. On the other hand, I returned to work and have been making a strong effort helping the company recover its performance. Having moved back to my parents' house, my mom is helping me with raising my daughter, and I feel fulfilled every day. Just recently, my daughter took her first steps. The movement moved the entire family, and we couldn't help but burst into applause. As a mother, there's nothing more fulfilling than witnessing my daughter's growth right by her side. Oh, speaking of which, I had this conversation with Emiko recently. Paniko, do you want to have lunch together? Oh, is it already lunchtime? Sure, let's eat together. Yay! By the way, is this picture on your desk of your daughter? Oh, she's adorable. She looks just like you. Yeah, thank goodness she doesn't resemble my ex-husband at all. You've been through a lot, haven't you? We were super busy for a while too. I thought I was gonna collapse. And it wasn't just me. Everyone was saying the same thing. But I'm really grateful you came back and the company's performance has improved. Everyone respects you so much. It's not just my effort. Everyone worked hard to bring the company back on track. You're so humble! But Isato really was a piece of work. I heard he was involved in some shady dealings behind the scenes. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be talking about your ex like this. It's fine, I'm so happy now that I don't care about that jerk anymore. Let's forget about him and go have lunch. What should we eat today? Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!